obviously started Big Ten play. I was really pleased with the FDU game. It's not an easy game to prepare. The way they play, their style is so unique with all the run and jump, what they do in the half court, it's a game where you don't run a lot. You get in trouble if you try to run a lot in terms of execution of half court offense. So we made plays and it led to 21 assists. It led to multiple guys with double doubles. It led to multiple guys in terms of us shooting the basketball at a high clip and get some guys going. Very proud of Justin. The hard work he's put in really since the break was great to see that rewarded. And then I thought Dane was spectacular coming off the bench. And then our rebounding effort. It's got to continue now as we get into Big Ten play, but that was something positive to see. Obviously, now it's 19 Big Ten games. It starts with Northwestern coming in here, and obviously that's a very good Northwestern team. In most cases, probably the best guard in our league in Boo Buie, and they've already beaten the #1 team in the country. So, very good basketball team. Extremely well coached. They've got a lot of really key pieces back off last year's team, and it'll be a typical Big Ten game, and Illinois versus Northwestern, and tremendous respect for Chris and their team and how good they are.
There's some things you can do to keep Boo Buie off balance a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I won't tell you that. But it is about keeping him off balance, and I thought that I think he had 28 with about 14 to go last year, something like that. Maybe it was more than that. It seemed like every time he touched it, he scored. You can't leave him alone. He's got maybe the best float game in college basketball in terms of floaters from 15 feet. But you've got to make it hard. And you can't leave. Can't give a lot of help. He's got elite shooters and Ty Berry, and the transfer has been, in my opinion, Langmore is probably might be the best shooter in college basketball. I mean, if he's got a clean look, he does not miss. And and then they got a legit lob threat. With big fellow rolling down the lane, so it makes guarding him very challenging.
Since Nico is doing some basketball activities, is there any more clarity on his timeline?
We don't have. We hope to have a little more early next week. This is just part of his process of return. But until the scans come back, we'll re-image those things. Until those come back, we get a little better idea. This is one of the first days he's actually been on the court in a basketball shoe, shooting a basketball. So we're headed in the right direction, but I don't want to jinx anything because I don't have a timeline.
How have you seen your team respond in practice or in games since Terrence's absence, and how important are these times, Brad, as you try to figure out what you're doing next?
Well, like I said, the other day, I mean, we're a connected basketball team, and it's a group that I'm excited to coach every single day because they're very matter of fact. They've got the next game up mentality. Tuesday nights, Big Ten play. We've kept it that simple, all year long. We haven't varied from what our standards are, and this team's standards are to be the best they can be every day, and that's been very much appreciated on my end from day one, and it'll be that way today as we prepare for Northwestern on Tuesday.
Quincy said that he felt that connection, when he got here, so in the summer. Like, what was it at that time when he didn't have to, maybe he still had to build it, but you had a foundation in June?
This is going to sound corny, and I don't know any other way to put it. Really, really, really high character guys, and those guys are. I mean, they all have a common goal of winning. There's a maturity about these transfers, and that their focus has been on winning. and it's not about the individual team stuff. It's been about their teammate. We talk about that a lot, the locker room, and when you remove the round ball, the round ball makes a lot of friends. The basketball does. We call each other friends, but when you remove that, these guys are truly friends. These are relationships. They know their parents' names. They know their brothers and sisters. That's unique. And now Quincy has a child, and to see these guys respond that way. We do this Secret Santa thing at Christmas, and to see the thoughtfulness that these guys had in their gift giving is tremendous, because they actually know him. And so I've felt that way for a long time. I think the Spain trip was a driving force in helping solidify that, because it wasn't just basketball over there. It was a lot of hanging out and doing fun stuff. So money well spent on the Spain trip, but I think it speaks volumes to the character of these guys.
In your mind, what made what Justin did the other night so special to you, and how has he adapted to this new role at Illinois over these first few months?
Yeah, I don't want to say it's been easy for him.
Right.
It hasn't, and it's really hard being a transfer and you only have 1 year.
Right.
And to jump into this thing and know that you could be in a different role, you don't know what your role will be. Unbelievable kid. I mean, unbelievable person. And all he's done is try to do what we've asked. And you go from a prominent scorer to a guy that we're asking you to be an impact off the bench and not know what your minutes are. In the FAU game, it was a lot. In other games, it hasn't been as much. Learn different terminology, a different system, a different way of playing, to jump the level he jumped. And now to see all of the work he's done, and really since, for the last couple of weeks, to see that pay off with a game like that where you make open shots. And, it's like I told him, I said, when we recruited you, that's the way we thought you'd play every night. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but he's a really good player.
Sure.
And it's just things starting to click. And that's something that he's worked so hard. And I've got a lot of respect for that.
Terrence, he initiated a lot of offense. How do you approach now trying to figure out what that looks like without him?
I mean, ball's in Marcus and Ty's hands a lot anyway. The stuff we're doing has been really based on matchups. We have the ability to create a lot of matchup problems. Truthfully, it starts with Coleman, how teams match him. I truly think the guy you visited with earlier, Quincy's turning into an all-league type guy. He's a guy that, again, we can take advantage of mismatches, but it's everything we're doing is matchup based, much more so than it is trying to run set A or set B, and it's just taking advantage of that. And I think we've got a lot of very talented players, and we'll keep looking for those opportunities wherever they come.
Draven got some playing time against FDU. Were you pleased with what you saw from him?
I was very. Draven works as hard as anybody in this program, and he overthinks things sometimes, which is a really good thing and very typical for a freshman, because he wants to be perfect, and it's challenging him to do what he does every single day in practice, because we can't guard. I mean, we have a hard time guarding him, and he's got the ability. He had a fadeaway off a post up that most people not named Kobe Bryant can make. I mean, he's just that guy. He's a gifted hard shot maker. But I was very pleased with him and excited for what the future holds for him.
With Quincy, I mean, how do you feel like maybe you managed to get the best of both worlds of Syracuse and Oregon, Quincy, to kind of merge?
Yeah, I mean, one, he works, and he's as hard a worker every single day in practice as we've had here. I mean, he goes every day. He takes every play as serious as there is. And I think it was, kind of re-sparking maybe the rebounding bug in him, and we're playing him a little more matchup wise, where he's not guarding perimeter players quite as much. And we do some switching, obviously, but he's really bought into the defensive side. I think that's his way to the next level. He's a guy who can guard multiple positions, but he's just got a gift on the offensive glass. The three-point shooting we knew would come. That was just more risk than anything. So I think it's just been a natural, easy kind of flow into things for him. And once he got through the initial risk problems, we're starting to see a really good forward.
Are you go ahead.
What have you seen from Sincere in practice, and how the redshirt process overall is just going for him?
Great. I've loved Sincere Harris in this process. His dedication with Fletch. He heads our scout team every day. He's a guy that is learning how to eat, learning how to pack on calories, learning. He's getting extra workouts daily with Fletch, and that's what this process is about for him. And he's out here every single day with Chester, getting his own personal workout, making some changes in some things, working on some things. And to this point, he's been off the chart in terms of taking advantage of the redshirt opportunity.
So did you change in that process with Terrence out, or with Nico out, or anyone else, or is he still ready for that process?
No, we're all in that process, getting him better.
Would you agree that there's a difference in this Northwestern team? It doesn't seem like there's a style or a pace they have to play at. They beat Purdue in the 80s and 90s. They just beat DePaul in a game in the 50s.
Their possessions are still pretty low. They're an elite defensive transition team. They're a team that doesn't give you a bunch there. They've been very, very good on the defensive glass, as Chris's teams always are. But yeah, they'll take opportunities when they're there. They're a really, really good three-point shooting team if you give them those opportunities. And they're a team that doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I think they may still be leading the country in fewest turnovers, or they're right there close to it. So they don't beat themselves. And but yeah, this team is, they go as Boo goes, but they've also got some veterans around him on the perimeter that are dead eyes, and that allows them to score some points.
We have time for two more.
Terrence had the ball a lot at the end of the shot clock and end of game situations. Are there guys that you feel comfortable putting in that situation now that he's not here?
Yeah. I think Ty's earned that right. I think that Marcus has earned that right. I think Quincy's earned that right. I think all of those guys are very, very capable. I think there's actions we run to Luke as well. We create opportunities for Coleman in those situations, especially in pick and pop situations. But we've got a plethora of guys that I feel really comfortable with, really good in those spots.
As you get into conference play, is there a difference now maybe how you prepare a team? Because on both sides, it's maybe not, there's more new on both sides maybe than there was when you were at SFA, for example.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of similarities in styles. Coaches don't change a lot. I think one of the things I like about our group is I think some teams have to try to figure out how they want to guard us, what they want to do with Coleman. I think Coleman's the best pick and pop five in college basketball, and how do you want to guard him? What do you want to do with a point guard who gets 15 rebounds? Our pace. I think there's things that we can cause other teams to have to adjust to, but we know what teams like to do. We pretty much have the play cards, and there's different things that happen, and the course of the game, you got to make adjustments. But there's still a few guys that are always keys, and in this case, it's Boo, and he's had a lot of success against us last year. We got to do a good job against him this year.